Join me as I take on the challenge of fully trusting Allah's plan for a whole month and see how it changes my life. You know, we've all been there, feeling lost, confused, and unsure of what the future holds. It's like being stuck in a dense forest with no clear path in sight. But what if I told you there's a way to break free from that uncertainty and live a life of purpose and direction? It's by trusting in Allah's plan. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. Having faith in Allah's plan is not just a vague concept. It's a powerful principle that can change the course of our lives. It's a reminder that we're not alone in this world, that our lives are part of a bigger plan, and that every experience, no matter how big or small, serves a purpose. And that's what I want to delve into today. The transformative power of believing in Allah's plan. By trusting in Allah's plan, we're not just giving up control. We're surrendering to a power far greater than ourselves. We're acknowledging that our limited human minds can't possibly comprehend the complexity of life. And that's okay, because when we let go of our need to control, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, new opportunities, and a deeper sense of trust and faith. In many ways, trusting in Allah's plan is a form of liberation. It's a liberation from the burden of having to have all the answers, from the pressure of trying to control every aspect of our lives. It's a reminder that we're not the ones in charge. Allah is. And that's a comforting thought. In Islamic teachings, the concept of Allah's plan, or qadar, is deeply rooted in our faith. It's the belief that everything that happens in our lives, good or bad, is part of a divine plan. And that's not just a vague idea. It's a reality that can be felt and experienced in our daily lives. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "A strong believer is better and more lovable to Allah than a weak believer." This hadith highlights the importance of resilience and faith in the face of adversity. It reminds us that challenges are a part of life, but it's how we respond to them that matters. And when we trust in Allah's plan, we're better equipped to face those challenges head-on. In fact, the Quran is filled with stories of prophets and believers who trusted in Allah's plan, even when the odds were against them. Take the story of Prophet Yusuf, for example, who was sold into slavery by his brothers, but went on to become a leader in Egypt. His story is a testament to the power of trust and faith in the face of adversity. So, what does it mean to trust in Allah's plan? It means believing that every experience, no matter how difficult or challenging, serves a purpose. It means having faith that every setback is an opportunity for growth, that every obstacle is a chance to learn and become stronger. It means surrendering to a power greater than ourselves and trusting that we're exactly where we need to be. When we trust in Allah's plan, we're not just passive observers in our own lives. We're active participants. We're co-creators, working alongside Allah to fulfill our purpose and make the most of the time we have on this earth. And that's a beautiful thing. Trust in Allah's plan also means being patient and persistent. It means understanding that growth and progress are not always linear. Sometimes they're slow, and sometimes they're fast. But with faith and perseverance, we can overcome even the toughest obstacles. In a world that's increasingly uncertain and unpredictable, trusting in Allah's plan is a beacon of hope. It's a reminder that we're not alone, that we're part of a bigger plan, and that every experience, no matter how big or small, serves a purpose. So, how can we apply this concept to our daily lives? It starts with a mindset shift. It starts with recognizing that we're not in control, that Allah is, and that's okay. It means letting go of our need to micromanage every aspect of our lives and trusting that everything will work out for our good. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate this trust is through gratitude. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we begin to see the world in a different light. We start to recognize the blessings in our lives, no matter how small they may seem. And that's when the magic happens. That's when we start to trust in Allah's plan. I remember a time in my life when I was going through a tough period. I had just lost my job, and I was struggling to find another job. But it was during that time that I turned to Allah, and I started to trust in His plan. I started to focus on the blessings in my life, no matter how small they seemed. And slowly but surely, things started to fall into place. I found a new job. I started to rebuild my life, and I emerged stronger and more resilient than before. Also, my friend was facing the same struggles as I was, and it was also an incredibly difficult time in his life. He had also just lost his job unexpectedly, and the weight of uncertainty was crushing him. At first, he didn't know what to do. Bills were piling up, and every day felt like a challenge. But one evening, as he sat in silence, he turned to Allah. He remembered the verse, "Indeed, with hardship comes ease." Quran 94:6. It was a reminder that trials are temporary and that there is wisdom in every struggle. Instead of letting despair take over, he focused on gratitude, appreciating the small blessings he still had, like his health and family. He prayed earnestly, asking for guidance, and took proactive steps to update his resume, network, and apply for new opportunities. Months later, he landed a job that was not only more fulfilling but aligned with his long-term goals. Looking back, he realized that losing his job was a turning point, an opportunity for growth. Through patience, faith, and trust in Allah's timing, he became stronger and more hopeful than ever before. Another story about a family friend of mine was struck by a serious health issue that completely changed his life. He went from being active and full of energy to struggling with daily tasks. Doctors couldn't find a clear solution, and it felt like everything was slipping away from him. He was devastated, not just by the physical pain, but by the uncertainty of what the future held. But in the midst of his struggles, he turned to Allah with full trust. He spent time in prayer, asking for healing and strength. He reflected on the teachings of the Quran, reminding himself that Allah is the ultimate healer and that every trial carries a lesson. Instead of giving in to fear or frustration, he focused on maintaining his faith, no matter how difficult it was. He also took practical steps to care for his body, following medical advice, seeking alternative treatments, and surrounding himself with positive, supportive people. Over time, things started to improve. The recovery wasn't quick, but little by little, his health began to return. It wasn't just the physical healing that amazed him. It was how his faith had strengthened. Through his journey, he felt closer to Allah, and his trust in His plan grew even more. Today, he's healthier than ever before. His experience taught him a valuable lesson. When we place our trust in Allah, even in the most difficult times, He has a way of turning things around for the better. Stories like these are a testament to the power of trusting in Allah's plan. It's not just a vague concept, it's a reality that can be felt and experienced in our daily lives. Of course, there are those who may doubt the concept of divine planning. They may argue that it's too simplistic, that it's a cop-out, or that it's just a way to avoid taking responsibility for our lives. But I believe that trusting in Allah's plan is not about avoiding responsibility. It's about recognizing that we're part of a bigger plan and that every experience, no matter how big or small, serves a purpose. It's also about recognizing that we're not alone. We're part of a community of believers who have trusted in Allah's plan throughout history. We're part of a legacy of faith and resilience that stretches back centuries. In conclusion, trusting in Allah's plan is not just a vague concept. It's a powerful principle that can change the course of our lives. It's a reminder that we're not alone, that we're part of a bigger plan, and that every experience, no matter how big or small, serves a purpose. So, I want to leave you with a challenge. Today, I want to challenge you to trust in Allah's plan for the next 30 days. See how it changes your life. See how it shifts your perspective. And see how it brings you closer to your Creator. And if you have a story to share about how trusting in Allah's plan has impacted your life, please share it with me in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like and share this message with someone who needs it. Comment with your own story to share. See you in our next video.